Um, for those of you who come in person, for those of you online, hey, my name is Anton. I'm working in Evolution company, and today I will try to make a journey into the future of an IT and how it will look, or maybe will not. So, I think that nowadays we experience rapid growth of an IT in general, and the things changing very rapidly, like very rapidly. So, for instance, like for past like 30 years ago, nobody would expect that we will have the computational power of the whole big computer out in our pocket, and this is actually dictates the route that we take as a software and as a hardware as well. So the first thing that I think that it is trendy right now and will be trendy for it will last long is Internet of Things. So I think that it became popular around 5-ish years ago. So everyone wanted to have a smart house that will do like turn out the curtains, like brew coffee or whatever. But actually it's more than that. So I found a definition on the internet that I liked. So it is actually, so what is the Internet of Things? So it is actually like a physical object that connected via the network, and basically you can think about the Internet of Things as sensors, maybe with the software, maybe without software, just to send the data across the internet. And why it is important and why it will be important for the next couple of years or maybe decades. Because it has so much application in our life, in our modern life. So imagine that we can bring more sensors to the manufacturers, right? We can measure temperature, I don't know, like the speed, whatever we want. But not only measure, but make some predictions or make some adjustments to the real manufacturing. So I was working with in one big steel manufacturing company, and we actually measure the temperature of let's say of the conveyor in order to understand when we need to maintain it. So maybe if it overheats that much, then it may broke up, and it will cost a lot of money. So one of the things you should remember is predictive maintenance. Internet of Things helps a lot in predictive maintenance, but not only on the manufacturing side. You can think about like the smart cities. So like just imagine. So you can have cameras that can get the data from the traffic, and they can even adjust the traffic lights on the go, depending on the situation on the roads. Also the power grids, right? So you can reroute the power depending on the load. And in order to do that, you need a lot of sensors, you need a lot of data. And guess what? We have a 5G now, which allows us to transfer data with the high speed that we can imagine, like without wires. Also, this leads to another additional interesting stuff that you can think of. So our computational power that we can put into the small device grows over time. Thus allows us to do the things we call edge computation or edge computing. So basically, you have very fat cloud somewhere on Amazon or like Azure, whatever, that can transfer and process the data that you gather from the sensors. But imagine that you can bring it out of the cloud to the actual device and make decisions there. And the technology nowadays allows us to do this. And probably in the future, we will see even more of those, like edge computing stuff. Why should you? So you can use your mobile phone as a computational device because it has a lot of power. Why should you transfer data to some external server in the clouds or whatever it is? You can do this right away. And for instance, I include like smart cameras. So for instance, the cameras can not only transfer the data, but can also make some like decisions or predictions or whatever. So make some computations like on the fly, on the go. Or medical sensors. So many of you have the Apple Watch or like some other device. So instead of just gathering and transferring the data, it could make some decisions or like predictions or make like assumptions. Which lead us to another interesting topic, very interesting, very trendy. It was trendy and it will be trendy, which is artificial intelligence. Because in order to make predictions, you need something that will predict, right? So, and actually this is so much overused and like misinterpreted term like artificial intelligence. So I found a very cool explanation on the internet again. So it is the ability of digital computer or computer-controlled robot to perform tasks commonly associated with intelligent beings, which is, I think, is good explanation, but it is not, I would say, your typical like cat dog video recognition service is actually not an intelligent being. So this is not a completely artificial intelligence, but maybe in the future we will have the proper like Skynet or whatever. I hope not. But artificial intelligence also like or machine learning, we can substitute it with machine learning at some extent. It has so many applications right now, and it will have the applications. So for instance, imagine like the healthcare, right? So I spoke about the healthcare in terms of IoT devices, right? In terms of sensors, but it can, with the edge computing, it can detect disease or like predict that, hey, your like blood sugar is like very low comparison to average. Maybe you're not feeling good. Something like this. Why not? And we can go even further if we imagine things that, I don't know, like you can have like a patch, like, you know, like a band that you can just put on yourself and that can measure your temperature, your, I don't know, like humidity, how, like your blood oxygen level or whatever. So it can get us to a whole new level of healthcare actually. So you don't have to go, even now, you don't have to go to the doctor in order to make some measurements, right? So probably in the future, we will have more of that to come. Also, like banks and finance, this is one of the classic one. So for instance, you have like tons of transactions. So previously, like for like, I don't know, like dozens of years ago, let's say like 40, 50 years ago, you had to have like, you know, like department of people that trying to get into these transactions, find the fraud. Now you just can have some, I don't know, like couple of lines on Python, not couple, okay, like 200 lines in Python that can do it for you. And or trading assistants, for instance, right? So we are into the stock markets, the cryptocurrency, so everyone is familiar with that. No, not everyone, but like most of us are familiar with that. At least we heard these terms. So, but it's hard, right? Maybe we will have some services or some applications that could help us, right? That can get decisions instead of us. Probably. Social media, one of my favorite topics. So imagine that. So it is. We are doing it right now. So like the content customization, right? So you have I don't know, the personalized ads, right? You Googled something and now you have like a lot of ads to like toothbrush or I don't know, like red balloons, whatever. And I think it will go even further because we have a lot of data. We actually create a lot of data with our lives, I mean personal ones. We Google stuff. We make posts like photos on Instagram, Twitter, like other social media, blog posts, whatever, and it creates a lot of data. And somebody or something should process this data in order to find more stuff about you or about society or about whatever. Also, it can act as a content filter because, I mean, if it generates a lot of data and a lot of text, images, videos, we should somehow determine like, is it good or bad content? Maybe, and we don't want to allow the bad content to be present in our lives. But it's hard because like data is accumulating. So how we can do this? We can use, again, so this stuff, this artificial intelligence, way faster than human. And that's why we can do more things, automate more things, and create a decision helping services that will allow us to be more humans, actually. In the future, we will see more and more of these services to occur. So even right now, like the startup without machine learning in it is kind of, what is a startup? Is it a startup or not? So because everyone wants this, everyone wants help and assist. And as I said, these IoT devices and not only the IoT devices, but we as a human beings generate a lot of data, like a lot, which means that we should do something about the data, right? We cannot be careless about the data like we used to when like 10 to 20 years ago, which leads us to another interesting topic, I think, that will be trendy, which is cybersecurity. Because you have to protect your data right now. You cannot be careless about what you do in the internet. So what is the cybersecurity? So cybersecurity is a practice of protecting system networks and programs from digital attacks. So our world, the bottom line is our world already digital and will be more and more digitalized throughout the years. So, as I told, like lots of IoT devices with network access. Imagine that you get the router with the default like username and password. Guess what? You will get hacked for like, I don't know, in an hour, right? And imagine that you will have smart city that the IoT device that can control the traffic lights. I mean, it's kind of anti-utopian stuff if you will not protect it against the attacks, right? So we generate lots of semi-personalized data. Even like if you leave your email somewhere, it can trace you down to, and it can someone can connect your email with another mail with your phone and like get a whole picture of you from the dozens of sources, which is bad actually. So you need to be careful on the internet right now and in the future. And also, like, it's more of a company, I think, company point of view. But we have GDPR, and GDPR hit hard, like really hard, if someone detects the breach. So if you're not familiar with GDPR, it's actually a law that protects your personal data and regulates how company store your data and what the company knows about your data and whatever. So I think you can find like if you Google stuff like top 10 GDPR breaches or whatever, so the fines there are very big. One was with the, I think with the hotels, with the Marriott or something. So they actually store not like depersonalized data, got hacked and got fined like very hard. But still, it's one of the most underestimated areas because like companies like, okay, we have like some database, we have some services, yada yada, just store the data and you're good to go. But apparently it's not. It is not true today and will not be true tomorrow or in next years, upcoming years. So one of the things that, for instance, like one of the example of GDPR I find, or like IoT plus artificial intelligence plus cybersecurity. So one of the companies that back in the days I was speaking with, I was talking with, so they gathered, they wanted to understand where to put the ads, like billboards, the physical ones, across the city, and for that reason they needed data. So they needed data like personal, not personalized data, but like data for focus groups. Like I don't know, like we want to add some, I don't know, like some product that appealing to, I don't know, like males in mid-30s. So where should we put these ads across the city? So can we do better than just random put, right? And apparently, it's one of the companies was providing the data, like the GPS data. So they asked the people to put a mobile app with all this like GDPR stuff, with depersonalized data, but with the GPS signal. So you can feel like I'm a like male, like mid-30s, and I want to participate in some program. And so they gathered data and can see where the best spots to put the ads. So this is happening right now. It's not, I'm not making it up right now. It's an actual company that do this. So, and imagine that it's not about the GPS. It's about the whole your life being digitalized. So you need to protect this. But on the other side of the things, we have very interesting, very interesting stuff, which is virtual reality. It's another trendy stuff. And boy, I mean, for the past 5 years, it became so popular. Like everyone wants their like Oculus Rift, or like even in the malls, you can see, you know, like the guys that have this like entertainment stuff. You can wear the goggles and just see the pictures or movies or whatever. So the virtual reality is a simulated experience that can be similar or completely different from the real world. I think it's from Wikipedia. So this means that we actually trying to build a digital copy of our world, if you can think about it in this way. So we have a lot of data about our world, like real data. We have lots of computational power to actually model this data. So why not put ourselves into this digital world? And this has like so many applications again. So I think the most common thing is entertainment, right? So the games, the virtual walk in the parks or walk with the dinosaurs. So you can imagine it. But also it has like a lot of implications in other areas as well. So for instance, like healthcare. Like imagine you can actually like see what happens like inside the body, right? You can travel inside the body. I believe it's cool. Like I wanted to see this actually. Or like again, so manufacturing. So you can build a digital, I don't know, like digital copy of a machine, and like manipulate it in some virtual world. Also, like the education. So I think it's already true with the pilots, right? So they have this like simulators. They put the goggles on, like just acting in a virtual space. But it could be not only the pilot. It can be like anything actually. We can have virtual attendance to classes even. So now we have very like how can I say cave world technology like Zoom, but imagine that you can be present in virtual reality, like even here. I mean, it's cool. Also, I think it's worth to mention that there is not only like virtual reality, but also there is a term like augmented reality, then or AR in short. So it not the exact virtual reality, but it can bring like virtual objects to the real world with your phone, for instance. Or I think the Microsoft HoloLens technology do this. So or like one of the pioneers was the Google Glass, I believe the project name was. So imagine that you could have like wearable like glasses that can help you navigate through the city, or like bring some information to the whiteboard, but it's within your glasses, not the projector. So I think that it will be trendy, and we will explore the virtual reality more. I mean, like the metaverse is not a joke, so we definitely will be in the metaverse, do we like it or not? Which also means that, I mean, but in terms of IT, it means that we will need a lot of engineers to do this. I mean, the programs still is not writing themselves, and I believe that they will not be writing themselves in 10 to 10 years. So we will need a lot of engineers to fulfill these tasks. So which lead us to another topic, to career advices. So I was thinking that what actually, I mean, what skills should we use or should be valuable in the modern world and in the future, taking into account the modern technologies. So, and I think that one of the most crucial ones is online communication. So because, I mean, with the past couple of years, we understood that, yeah, sometimes we cannot just gather close to the table and make our decisions there. So we should have another sort of communication, and the phone is not that good to have a conversation between like a lot of people, right? So that's why we have Zoom, we have Teams, we have at least some attempt to mimic the physical presence. But not anyone actually knows how to do online communication. And like this Zoom with the with the kids background noises, or like cats all over your face. So I mean, it's maybe it would be norm, but for now, you have a big meeting with big bosses, all wearing suits, and now you get just just jumps at you. It's not. I mean, it's a new era, but we need to adapt to this. We need to understand how we can behave online. Also, this includes the asynchronous communication or sync communication. So for instance, not everyone understands that if you write something down in like Telegram or Slack, then and so it doesn't mean that you will get an answer right away. But some people do, and some people are like, hey, why you're not texting me back? Why not text? So if you want me to answer you like immediately, just call me. Don't text me, because like this is the way how we. So this is the thing, like distinguish we should distinguish like online async communication, like online sync communication, synchronous communication. So we should focus on that. I don't think that it will be like a big of a problem, but it should definitely worth to invest in. Also, like past couple of years shows us that we need to have some stress tolerance, right? So, I mean, it was tough times, and we should, and because it's not only about the uncertainties of the future, but it is about the isolation, and we need to adapt to it, because like we as a human beings, we tend to operate in groups, we tend to gather in groups. So that like it was evolutionary like evolutionary successful strategy. But now we cannot do this. We are just isolating, and we need to adapt to it. We need to adapt our mind to it, our mindset. So this is one thing that I believe that you should focus on. So you need to adapt to isolation, which is actually hard, at least in my experience. Also, I think this comes throughout like the years, and it's one like, you know, a golden ticket or a golden device, like intentional learning. You can see the technology is moving fast, and if you will not learn new technologies and will not learn like how to solve or to see problems in general, then maybe you will experience some hard times in the future. So we need to learn, like as an IT guys, we need to learn like constantly, like permanently, like new version of library came. Okay, what's that? What's new? Like new, I don't know, like new smartphone came. You see, oh, okay, what's new? Because if you will understand the concept, so when you will learn enough things, then you will understand that basically many things are derived from the same concept, or solve similar problems. And when you start to see similarity, then it will become much easier for you to actually to work, because you'll say, oh yeah, so this is the problem that you can solve in like 3 ways, or this that you can solve in 4 ways. So that's why I need to learn. That's why I need to know new stuff and train your brain. Your brain is actually like it's, you can see it as a muscle as well. And if you will not train it, then well, it will be hard to do job. Like, I mean, as an IT guys. But also like collaboration and teamwork. This one is, I think it's overseeing like a lot, because we can see the how can I say, the story of success. For instance, like one man just established a startup, and now guess what? It's worth $1 billion. Yeah, probably, but still, maybe he was the one at the beginning of the journey, but he gathered like a lot of people alongside the journey. And this is one of the crucial things that will be even more crucial in the future, because as an individuals we can do X amount of work, but if you gather in a group, we can do more things. We can do things in a better way. And this is hard, like if we are talking about the isolation, you know, like it's a stress, well, yada yada. So this one you should focus on as well. I think like even like our educational, even the education, I'm not sure about like nowadays, but for the past like decades, our educational system was not teaching us to collaboration and teamwork, because you have personal graduates, right? And if you do group projects, how we can evaluate the group project? What's your value that you bring into the group project? I don't know how to evaluate it, but you should join a team. gather colleagues around you, gather just guys that you like to have a chat at least, and try to do at least try to think about what you can do. So this one you should focus on as well. And I want to include, I mean, if we're talking about the future of an IT, or like, how can I predict the future? What jobs or what areas would be valuable for the next years? I would say read more sci-fi. I mean, you can see like the Bradbury, he predicted AirPods. I mean, 1953. What? And it actually it's even interesting. You know, like, what's the what the term? So the cause. So did he predict the future, or we just make what he predicted? I mean, it's hard to tell, but still, like Isaac Asimov, he wrote an essay. It's not an actual, like, it's not a poem. It's not like a big book. But guess what? We have 3 laws of robotics right now. Also, like one of the recent one, like the snow crash. So he actually coined the term of metaverse and like described how we can live in metaverse. Yeah, it's like kind of anti-utopic, but still. So I mean, you can read like older sci-fis, but actually Bradbury is not the sci-fi like technically, but still. So but read more books that tries to predict the future, tries to think like, okay, so if we will have like virtual reality, like very acceptable, right? What will happen to the society? Or like maybe some small bits of technology that you can get out of it, and probably it will become reality, not some imagination. And slowly, I will try to tell you more about what can we as a company, like as an evolution, bring to this game. So who we are. It is time to talk about evolution. So we talked about the IT in general and what I think will be good for the students or for the fresh grads to look at. And now I want to talk about what we do in evolution right now and what probably we will do in the future. I cannot talk about that much, but I will try. Okay, so who we are. So we're actually like world-leading developer and provider of products of iGaming industry. I know that we met some of you like yesterday, but maybe if you missed out our booth, then I will tell you who we are now. Now it's the time. So we build games. We build games for online casinos. So like entertainment, gaming, virtual reality, something. Maybe it will occur one day. So, and we are good at it, actually. We are good at it. Because our team is global. So we have this strange stuff falling out. Whatever. So we have hubs all across the globe. Not in Africa and South America and Australia yet, but let's pretend it all across the globe. And we are not going to stop at this. So like 13-ish thousand employees, including the dealers, including the presenters, including the tech guys who operates with the studios, because obviously you need a studio to stream live games, right? Some fast, fun, not fun facts. So we founded it 2006. And I would say that from 2006 till now, we made a very good and very fast journey to who we are right now and what we are doing right now. So if you can see the latest acquisitions, then throughout the couple of past years, we acquired actually like a very big company. So for instance, like NetEnt, it was and it is a big company. So you can see that probably we're doing okay if we can afford the acquisition of big companies to support our business. So we're not like just doing, okay, so what's the trend on the market, we will buy it. No, we actually like improves what we can do for the people. We improve our product list. We improve how we do things, what we do. And I mean, it is cool. So for instance, one of the shots that was approved, then it is one of our games. I will not put you into that much details, but you can see that it's not, so it kind of differs from the usual like poker game that you just deal a table and cards. So, and this is the future of entertainment. I believe that it's the future of online entertainment. So you can see that there's a mesh between like the actual person with the like virtual, or not virtual, but like some like 3D modeled world. And I believe that we will move further with this, and you will see more and more successful projects from us on the market. And so you can see, you know, like this, like the how technologies dictates entertainment part. So previously you could just go to the casino. Now you want to be present online. If you combine the gambling, the money, then probably you need to think about the cybersecurity, right? Remember cybersecurity. This is mesh of like actual person inside some fantasy world. So maybe it's one step from virtual reality. Why not? Virtual reality. So in order to make it happen, I mean, we need a lot of devices. And maybe this is not the best example because it's like rendered, but we have physical devices like wheel. So if you have visited our booth, then you remember the wheel. So basically our like casino wheel is a little bit more complicated than that we can see yesterday. You saw yesterday, but I mean, you will require at least some sensors in it. So IoT. So and in order to, for instance, imagine you are having a game with the dice, right? You just shake the dice, throw it on the table, and now you ended up with a situation that you need to actually feel the results of the dice. And how we can do this? Yeah, you can do this by hand, but maybe there is a better way to do this. So you can put a camera on it, and you can let the camera and some service to capture the data from the dice, like to capture the images and recognize it. Image recognition, machine learning. So that's why I think that we are doing fine. So about evolution engineering in particular, so we have 10 engineering hubs. I think maybe 11 now, maybe 10, I don't know. But anyway, it doesn't mean that much because it's like a lot of engineers here, a lot of engineers across the company. So, and we want to hire like talented engineers, all levels, from like junior to senior to tech leads, architects, you name it. because we want to gather a good, critical thinking people in one place. Not in one place, but in one company, let's say. So what our main mission as an engineering teams is to flawless player experience. So what does it mean? So we want to players be able to play our games and not ranting about our games on the internet, basically. So so player could fulfill his desire of entertainment in the best way possible. So in order to do that, we need to ship a lot of products, because people get bored fast. They see the game. Imagine that some of us plays computer games, and some of us plays, I don't know, Fallout 2 or some game that were developed like considerable years ago. But many of us want, this new cool tech, new cool graphics, new cool mechanics, and that's why we need to fulfill this requirement. So it's actually the iGaming or gambling or online casino world is not that far from the actual game dev. You can see our project as small games, but still games. That's why you call them games. Also, in order to fulfill this mission, we should not only bring new cool stuff to the market. We should take care about existing projects that we have. So thus, we need to take care of our environment, technical environment, very seriously. We have teams of very talented engineers that taking care of our production services and in terms of both in software and hardware. Also, we think that open source is a way to go. So remember, the collaboration, teamwork, open source. Open source is a way to go. And I believe that if more people would come to this open source, then world will be a better place to live. Also, there's additional points you can read. I will not go through them, but the last one, I think, is important, because we're dealing with the video, like live video stream, with the lowest latency possible, with the highest quality possible. We need to we need to be best in order to do this. I think that probably we're something close to the news channels, probably, with this, maybe even beyond this, because we stream like a lot of data, and we need to somehow manage to do this. And our video team, I don't know what they do, but they do their job very good. They're very good at their job. So, slide about our technology stack. Probably you're wondering how we build our games, which languages do we use? So there's an answer. On the front end, we use TypeScript, React, Redux, and Mobix as a state manager. And also we have not only live games, but we have games that mimics the live environment. So it's built completely in 3D. So there's like a camera, there's a 3D model, the table, the chips, or like the balls with the roulette. That's why we use Babylon.js and Pixie.js. Just remember these buzzwords. It is popular, believe me. If you don't know, it's popular. On the backend, we use functional Scala. This is one of the most overseen languages. Being a Scala developer, I could say that you should definitely take a look at Scala if you want to become a backend engineer. If you're not, then just take a look anyway. Scala is a good language. So also we have cool libraries that named cats. I mean, what else? Where else you can see the libraries named actually manipulate the data and store the data. Also, when you operate at a larger scale, you need to think about scalability. So that's why we use the Akka cluster stuff. Not many backend companies that have backends in Scala use the Akka stuff. This is true, but take a look. It's worth spending your time. On the data side, we use pretty much now standard technologies like Kafka, Cassandra, Hadoop ClickHouse. It's more on the data lake, data warehouse side. Also, we use Postgre, so it's a golden standard for development. Also, you can think about CI/CD. If you don't know what it is, it's a way to deploy your things to production. And for this, we use Kubernetes and Docker. This became popular a couple of years ago. Not couple, but like 5 to 10 probably. So 5, I believe. So definitely, if you want to be a backend developer, you definitely need to look at the Kubernetes and Docker, what it is and what it does. Kinda rhyme. Okay, so you may wonder about the evolution in Estonia. So we're not that big in Estonia, around 35 plus engineers of all levels. I emphasize it, of all levels. Office in the center of Tallinn near the Nautica Keskus. So what we do? We are building games. We're building not only games, but award-winning games using modern technical stack. So, and it's not. I'm not joking. It's actually that. I mean, it's true. We have cross-functional distributed teams. It is true as well because we have, as I mentioned, we have a lot of offices. We try to localize what we do inside like each engineering hub, but still we have cross-functional teams. So imagine that you're part of team sitting somewhere in Riga, you sit in Estonia, in Tallinn. You should communicate with each other. That's why online communication is a thing. Also, we have budget for learning and development conference, learning and development and conference participation. I don't know about the conference participation right now because of the world restrictions, but I think that we will have definitely, it will return in the future. So the last point is about the personal development, and constant learning. So we can support that if you want to, and you actually should want to learn. Also, we have a bootcamps. We came with this idea a couple of years ago, and so far goes, it is very successful strategy. So we just gather people, teach them what we know, and after that we make a job offer to some of our participants from these bootcamps. And actually, I am doing a Scala one, like participate in a couple of lectures as a lecturer, as a teacher, and so far we had more than 30 engineers from the 3 bootcamps. We had 3 or 4 bootcamps, so it is a big number. So the conversion rate is good. Also, we have the TypeScript one. So TypeScript as a front end, more popular in general. Thus, we have more people joined Evolution. So this is what I wanted to tell you. A little bit about the IT in general, little bit about the evolution in particular. So that's all, folks. You can visit our website and search for the careers. I believe that we should have something about the bootcamps as well there. So you can also, also very interesting thing that I came across some time ago, that it is actually a popular thing on the Twitch and YouTube to stream how you play online games. So you can see our products not as a marketing showcase, but how real people play our games if you want to. So definitely check, like we have a official YouTube channel where we put, if some like big crazy win occurs, we put it there, and it's, I mean, the reaction is flawless. So you should definitely check it. So yeah, there is a place for questions and probably answers. So thank you very much. Thank you for your time. Thank you for attending. We still have half an hour, so we can make it some real-time conversation if you want to. If not, then I wish you a good day. So thank you very much for attending this webinar, seminar. Thank you. In the moment of silence.
Lisa has a question. You look like you have a question.
I'm looking at your site.
We're looking at the career page that you have.
Okay.
But yeah, I have a question. Like you talked a lot about Scala, and that your backend is built on that. And from my experience, and me and Lisa both study informatics, and we have some background with Python and Java, and we were wondering like how hard is to adapt to Java or to Scala rather, and how much do our previous knowledge like matter, and how can we use it?
Okay, so I will repeat the question for sake of who was watching online. So the question is about the Scala language, and if you have prior experience in other languages, for instance, the Python and the Java, so is it hard to roll to Scala, and does your experience matter in when you facing the Scala? I would say that in the real world, many of people that came to Scala came from Java world, so they have Java background. Because Scala is a JVM-based language, and you can actually, I mean, syntax differs from time to time. I would say like not a lot, but differs. But still, if you understand not the Java programming language, but the JVM, then you will have a you will adapt quick to Scala, because it runs on JVM. In terms of language itself, I would say that maybe it will be a hard at first when you face the concept of functional programming, because I don't know about what you study here, but for instance, in some universities people study Haskell, for instance, or some Lisp languages like Racket or Common Lisp, and they understood this concept better because they work with this concept. But the usually people who came from Java world, they tend to use this imperative style of programming when you actually dictate what to do to program, like set name, set password, set surname, whatever. So you're making actions, declaring actions. So it's like declarative or imperative programming. Whereas the functional programming is where you operate with the functions and like with the data transformation. So you can see like enrich person with surname function, which takes person, takes name, and as an outcome, you can see the person with a name. So this is more, I think it's more of a, how can I say, like math side, So you can see, if you can think about the data as a, like, mathematical functions, then you will understand the functional programming. So and the trend is that, although, I mean, Scala is actually like, one of the marketing pitch is that you can write Java style applications in Scala, you should not fear that. Yes, you can, but the trend is, and I think vast majority of community gravitates towards the functional way of doing things, because it has a lot of benefits in comparison to the imperative one, and thus you can see more and more the community and tooling and frameworks that leverage this way of thought. But again, so it is a concept, not an actual. It's not a language feature. It's a concept that incorporates into the language. So if you we will understand the concept, then you will have. I mean, you will have. You will not have a problem with writing Scala. So first thing that you can think of is, I mean, okay, I can start talking about Scala. So it's not maybe you should stop me at some point, because so yeah, in short answer is that yes, if you have a Java background, then or even Python actually, because the programming language is just a number of functions and the keywords that you can use, but what matters is the concept behind the language. So what the purpose of the language, and what's the essence of language, why it exists in the first place, so why Python exists and why Java exists. So, and if you understand why it exists, then you can, I think it will be easier for you to understand, like, the keywords and all the stuff. So if you understand why it is, why Java exists, for instance.
I have a question that could you maybe talk us through your daily, like, one day in your line of work, or what do you do?
Okay, so the question is about what I am doing, what my usual day, how my usual day looks like. Well, I attend to online seminars. Yeah, well, me personally, being as a development lead of Tallinn Engineering Hub, so my day varies from day to day actually. So there is not like common day. So usually I'm trying to fix stuff. Usually I'm trying to solve problems. Some days just full pack of meetings. So for instance, today I had 4 meetings before this seminar, but the other day I'm just taking a deep dive into code and trying to understand how we can solve some complex problem, or not only how we can solve, but in what time we can solve it, because time matters. And usually the people from business side, they tend to speed up the process. They tend to, like, just we need to move fast. When we can do this. Whereas we as an engineers we are creators. We create some physical lines of code from our mind. I mean, it's when I first thought about this, I was like, hell, I mean, it's it's actually cool. Yeah, so I'm on my daily job, I combine the two worlds. So being a manager and trying to help people out, trying to listen their pain points, listen and taking care of them, and being a technical lead, tech person, trying to fix and trying to solve complex problems. So writing code and being a manager at the same time.
Thank you.
You say your code is open sourced. isn't that kind of bad for companies since people who know programming, they can get a rough estimate of their win probabilities, so they know what games not to play.
Mm-hmm. Well, okay. So the question was about open source, and if we have open source, then people can see the probability of outcome and can see our code and maybe have some find some fraud in it, right? I mean, okay. So I think so. Okay. So I think when I was talking about open source, I was talking about some part of the code, so not all the code. But still, in order, okay, I'm trying to be like less technical as possible. In order to make a game to the market, you actually need to pass some strict certifications along the way. One of the main and crucial metric for your game to the compliance team and to the certification team is called RTP, or return to player, which is a measurement that say if I will play the game and I will put, for instance, 100 euros throughout my play, not in a single round, but on continuous playing, how much I can get back. And this, from the business perspective, this value should be less than 100%, because otherwise we will be playing players, not gaining money.
Return on investment.
Yes. But if you say, okay, the RTP is 50%, then nobody will play your game, because what's the point? So, and there is a very interesting like math game. So you try to be the RTP like close to 100%, but not really 100%. It's like 98ish something, and it's actually very interesting that if you can see that RTP of most of our games lies around 99% return to player. So you can see that you can think that casino actually live for this 2%. So like, and if it is a successful business, then I mean probably 2% is enough to live. When I was talking about open source, I was talking about this is a global collaboration between the developers, and also I think that yes, it can be risky when you use open source or where you open source your own code, or some part of your code. But the truth is that we are using open source in our daily lives anyway. So we use common libraries, common frameworks, and people who knows that there is some bug in the framework can assume that, for instance, okay, so Java has I don't know how many percent on top of my head, but there is a Spring framework, for instance, for Java. It's very popular. Everyone knows about the Spring. And for instance, imagine that Spring framework has a bug which nobody knows about it, but it has. So which means that 99% of all Java applications can be potentially risky to use. But everyone still uses this. But on the other hand, there is a high chance that somebody from other part of the planet came across for some occasion will read the code of Spring framework and say, hey, look, this is kind of suspicious. Maybe I can. So this is a bug. Open a request, and everyone could collaborate on that, on this bug. So it is. I think the benefit of of using open source, and not only using open source but contributing to, like, making a contribution to open source, is very good, and a way that we can develop our libraries further. So collaboration is the key. Yeah.
Okay, I can give you another question.
Yes. Yes, please.
So, in this line of work, security is a really important aspect, because when a data breach or something, data leak happens, people can get to other people's accounts and just extract the money from them. So, have you had like a major data leak or a data breach in the near past or something?
Okay, so the question is about the security and about data breach. So, did we have a data breach for like in recent?
What has been the biggest data breach?
I am not aware of the biggest data breach actually, because we are business to business provider, or B2B in short. So we are not storing actual money. So the money lies in casino domain. So they storing money. So we are not. About data breach, I know. I know not. No, I cannot actually. I cannot come with the example of data breach.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yes, that's a good thing. I know that our interesting part of our business is actually not the IT security by itself, but also the security of what we do in terms of games. So the security of like inner security about the dealers, the products that we built. I mean, how they operate with the machines, what they do with their hands. So we pay very close attention to this, and because it's crucial to our business, and because the people, I mean, I think that many people when they start to play online games, especially gambling, then I think that they first approach is like, yeah, the casino should not be honest with us. So probably they should tweak something and like doing something black magic for in order us not to win. But the truth is, we need to pass so many certifications along the way. So every our device being like certified, every our like product being certified, like a lot of times, like with the also many countries have their own jurisdictions, so we need to pass certification not once but like twice, thrice is the word, I mean like 3 times, 4 times, and even more. And when we come to new market, we need to be compliant with their restrictions as well. So it is very very strict industry, I would say. So it's not like shady basement when you just spin the wheel and try to win. No, it's not.
Yeah, and if people put up a higher bid, you lower the win percentage.
Yeah. No.
If you put in like $1, you can win 50 times in a row, but if you put more, okay, you're gonna lose every time.
You have the algorithm to figure it out.
Yeah, he knows something.
It's up to something. But I have a question about age restriction, because like in real life casinos in Estonia, the age limit, or you have to be at least 21 years old. I don't know if I missed the content or no, but how do you make sure that the people who are actually in the right age will enter the casino world digitally?
So okay, so question is about the age restrictions to be able to play the casinos, and how we detect this. Again, so because we are providing services to casinos, then it's up to casino to do this. So basically, when the people, so people visit not, that's actually quite unfortunate. So they visit not our website and our lobby with our games, but they visit their casino's websites, and the casino embed our products into their websites, into their infrastructure. So that's why you just it comes even sometimes it comes even without branding. So you are not, if you're a casino user, you may not aware that it is actually a Evolution game. You just click and game pops.
So you're just selling games pretty much.
Yes. So we provide we provide games and services around the games. So we say, okay, so your user wants to play blackjack. We have a game for that. So he put the bets, and his wallet is actually a casino wallet. So we are just making sure that if he bets, then there is a proper transactions, there is a proper withdraw and deposit. So and we're making sure that we are not losing money and all is correct. But again, so the casino stores money, the casino stores users. So that's why we don't have to make sure about the age, but in order to other compliances in other markets, we need to make sure that, for instance, I don't know which jurisdiction it is, but okay, so for instance, we need, after the 30 minutes, we need to show some message that, hey, we think that you played long enough. Do you want to continue or not? So it is a restriction provided by some authorities, and we need to be compliant to that if you want to operate in this market. So this is our part of the job.
Like you said, you provide services and these games. If you sell them to other companies, is the transaction like a one-time thing, or is it a monthly fee? Like, okay, this casino has to pay us like 100K every month, or is it?
What to add to this? That do you get like a percentage of the money that the game makes?
Okay, so the question is about how we actually making money. So do we have a percentage from bet, or do we have a subscription? And the answer is actually I don't know. I mean it. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not sure. I believe that maybe we may have a different strategy for different companies actually, but I'm not sure. But so that's why I will not trying to guess this answer to this question.
You showed us correct me if I'm wrong, but the Gonzo's treasure hunt, that was kind of like a new innovative way of gambling and playing casino games. And I want to know if you're actually seeing a rising trend, if you're coming up with new ideas and new games. Are they actually popular, or are people preferring like the classics like blackjack and poker and what else?
Oh, okay. So the question is about do we see trends in games like I showed you, like Gonzo Treasure Hunt, when you have some flashy 3D model, or people gravitate towards more classic one like blackjack, roulette, or poker, for instance. And I think that my take on this question is, I think that people are bored from the classic ones. It is still a classic one. So if the casino wants to do this product in their portfolio, because it's been there for a while and people get used to it. So that's why you should have blackjack, roulette, and poker in your casino portfolio, because it's a classic one. And if I don't want to understand this, how to bet on the Gonza, what are the outcomes, what are the flashy stuff, I can just play more classic ones. But I think that this we call this actually live shows. When the game presenter, or we call them hosts, they are not just giving you an answer like, okay, the game outcome is you win or you lose, but they're interacting with the user. So we have a chat window, then you can write something down, and the dealers or hosts or game presenters, they can actually read this and can interact. Because they have more, let's say, like free time while like wheel spinning or something happening on screen, they can have a chat with you, even like, hey Derek 95709, hey, how are you, something. Also, I think it is a trend because it's flashy, it's entertaining, and also what people are chasing for big wins. So if you have a product that say, okay, once in a while you can have 100x on your bet, people will play this game. Or maybe like 100x is pretty small, so like maybe 1000x then. So users love it, casinos hates it. I think that back in the days there was a trend on the television when, you know, like you need to guess words, or we have a take on like the lottery. We call this Mega Ball. I don't know what was the TV analog, but you know, like the lottery, when even now nowadays it's quite popular. You know, like the balls with the numbers just popped. Yeah, so we have this as well in our portfolio. So, I mean, and I think that people loves entertainment, and people don't want just to put a bet to see which card won. They want to feel connection with the game, with the host. And I believe that we will see more and more these games on the market. Although one of the metric that you should think of if you're trying to build a game, that okay, if I reduce the gaming round, then I can put more gaming rounds in, let's say, 1 hour, which means it will accumulate more money at the end, because you can put more game rounds in 1 hour. That's why you need to think about this as well. So if you will have if you have a game that lasts for half an hour, nobody will play it. I mean, somebody will, but it will not. I don't think that it will become popular. But if there is a good balance between the entertainment, the speed, and the payouts, then you will have your golden game that will skyrocket you.
Have you played like any of your games or your company's games, like not as a test but as a user?
Okay, the question is, have I played? Do I gamble? So I am not. So I don't play our games, and I think that maybe it's even restricted to like being as employee and playing our games. Still, we can play for the research reasons. I believe we can play the competitors, and also actually it's very very cool when you visit some game of your competitors, and you can say, hey, look, like, I mean, yeah, this mechanics is similar to us. Probably someone stole it from us, but the dress is very nice. So maybe we can think about, so yeah, maybe we can do the same design, or like maybe we can incorporate this some part of design. So this is very cool, and this shows that competition is actually very healthy and very cool. So I believe that it is good to see what your competitors offering. I mean, in general, it's not only about gambling, but in general in industry, or in every industry.
I have one final question, then I unfortunately have to leave. But I was wondering about, let's take for example blackjack. It's actually a really mathematical game in itself, and computers have a higher chance of winning the game, like because there are like specific number of cards, they're limited to the spades, whatever. And how do you even encounter botting? Do you deal with it? And do you have any kind of solutions, or are they even needed?
Okay, the question is about botting and about calculating the outcome and for the classic games like blackjack, for instance.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about the blackjack, so I'm trying to recall what they do, or do they do something about it. I know that I know that for the pokers there is there is no such thing as botting, because we shuffle cards each round, so you cannot calculate the probability. I mean, like it's all the same, because you shuffle cards each round. In blackjack, in classical blackjack, you are not shuffling cards each round, so I'm not sure about that. I'm sure about the example of the blackjack.
So pretty much botting is useless because the return on investment is 98% anyway, so you're gonna lose money anyway.
Well, yes, but yeah. So in the long run, you will lose money anyway. But still, you could have like local maximums of, and if you have additional information, probably it can differs. For instance, like in pokers, you have or in the blackjack. Let's stick with the blackjack. In blackjack, you have a decision, like specific decisions. Will you get another card, or will you stay, or will you split? Okay, so but let's stick with you can get another additional card, or you can just leave it as it is. And one way is to calculate like which card was burned on during the previous rounds, and then you can calculate the probability of the cards that left in deck. So you can see like, okay, so deck is hot, meaning that there is like a high number of cards with the higher rank, so probably I can do something about it. Or if I will get, I don't know, 10, then definitely I will need to have a card, or like past 15, I believe this is the breaking point of this strategy, but I'm not sure. But the answer is I don't know particular about the blackjack. I know that the interesting side story about the blackjack though. During the classical blackjack, you have a physical limitation of number of persons per table, because you're dealing cards to all of them. In casino poker, not the PvP that you play in Poker Stars, it's rather PvE if you stick with the MMO terms. So you play against all of you players play against the dealer of the casino, so you share the same cards, so player cards are the same. You're not dealing for the thousands of players, each of them their own card. Whereas in the blackjack, it is a physical limitation of the game, because game rules implies that there is a people on the table and you just deal them cards. And it is an interesting topic, that how you can actually overcome this like physical limitation. So that's why throughout the years we came with the new versions of blackjack, like the infinite blackjack, for instance. So when you deal the cards, you just put it into a machine which scans the card, and everyone everyone shares the same card, every player, but each player can make a decision, either stay or take another card. So that's why you overcome this with tweaking the game rules. You overcome the physical limitations of classic blackjack rules. But I'm not sure how to answer the question about the botting. But yeah, so I believe that the answer is I don't know what they do in the blackjack to this. What are their way?
Okay. As my fellow gambler asked about botting, what if there's there's a poker table, 6 people are playing, but 5 of them are bots. So you have 5 different hands that you know, and you're playing versus that one player that is the real one. So it's pretty much 5 against 1. You're going to raise. If you know you're having like 2 of the bots have good hands. So let's say there are 5 bots and 1 real person, and the 5 bots are versus that real person. The bots are getting like, one of them has 2 aces, one of them has, I don't know, doubles or some of that kind. So they're calculating the odds that the bots will win, and getting that to account, if they raise, they can calculate their win probability against that player and just scam the other player pretty much.
Okay, so the question is if there is a poker table that there is a lot of bots and only one player, then how we can what we can do about this? So and the bots can communicate with each other. So the answer is that for the casino world, we are not even ended up with the situation, because as I told that everyone shares the same, so each player shares the same cards. So yeah. So So this is one of the reasons. So that is allow us to, to have like 100, 200, 300 players playing the same time at the same table. As for strategy for like PvP, when you have bots in your like sitting with you on the table and communicating with each other, I believe it's a direct fraud, and I don't know how to do about it. So there is no strategy, because you.
I just thought that you would have a real advantage if, for example, I have 5 hands and you have 1.
Yeah, that's true. You will have advantage if you know more. So the thing is, though, the more you know, the more power you have.
Yeah. Knowledge is power.
Yes, knowledge is power. What? 1 minute left.
How much
So-
do you make?
Enough for living.
Not enough to gamble.
Well, yeah. So you can apply to our job and and find out.
VR or augmented reality gambling games.
Not yet. We don't have. No, this can be somewhat not an AR. Like, okay, it's okay. It's not an AR. I tried to coin the Gonza as an AR, but it's not actually. But I think that it's a way forward, and I think that we will have this. In general, in the industry, we will have this product on the market. But I don't know about like the current state.
Pretty much VR chat with gambling.
Yeah, dealer being like a knuckle or something. Yeah, why not? I can imagine it in school.
And if you lose, he spits on you.
Yeah, or something. Yeah, it has like ultimate, like infinite potential. The gambling in VR. Yes. One minute left, or 1 minute past? What?
Now it's my 1 minute past.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much for your questions. Thank you once again. I'm not sure am I online or not, but anyway, thank you very much. Have a nice productive day.